Step in the ring, feel the adrenaline rush, throwing fists and kicks, the pain we can't hush. And then they fight us, we're the real tough guys, breaking down barriers, we aim for the skies. Into the octagon, like a warrior I stand, slaying blows, taking hits as I command. The art of combat, I'm ready to go. Submission, knockout, that's how I flow. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling with my golden octagon. The stage we ignite. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling with my golden octagon. The stage we ignite.
And we are live. Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D Rose.
Gotta be honest, not a fan of the comment, Dave. Gross. But there we go. Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt. D Rose is on that side of your screen. We appreciate you for stopping by, hanging out with your boys here tonight. We are here to recap this past weekend's UFC fights in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, I believe. It was in Canada and it was in Edmonton. I don't know the Canada's provinces. It is what it is. We got some UFC news and announcements to go over there. But before we do that, I got to eat some beans because I made some not the best picks this past weekend, but it's okay. And then here, let me get the banners up. Yeah, Edmonton recap. I got to be eating some beans. We got some UFC news and fight announcements to go over. And then at the end of the show, we got the UFC Vegas 100 D-Rose. Neil Magny versus Carlos Prates. Give you our preview and our picks for that this weekend.
With as many Apex fights, does it not feel like it's already been 100? Like, it feels like it's already been, it feels like it's been past 100 at this point.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't know. It depends. I'm not even going to get it.
They didn't include I know they didn't include the pay-per-views during 2020 and part of 2021 in those the Vegas Apex events, but still, nonetheless, it felt like there have been way more than 100 of those, even counting the regular fight nights.
There have. But yeah, Saturday is my birthday, so hopefully I'll get lucky with some bets this weekend, D-Rose. But let's get into the chat real quick. We got Tim in here with the 4K subscriber soon. Soon, Tim, soon. I don't want to get my hopes up. You know, it takes a little bit to grow over here on the channel. Good evening, Austin. What's going on? Austin says, good evening, everyone. LFG. We got Antoine here. Let's get it, boys. Always love these on Wednesday night. Shout out, Antoine, for stopping by here. We got Austin. Good to see you here again, Antoine. I'm glad to see you guys making friends in the chat. And this is the one that I saw, Dave. I wasn't a fan of that, man. What is that about, dude? No, I don't want that. Oh.
Let's go. All I know, I'm happy it's not me.
We got Austin saying what's up to Tim. I mean, what's up to... Yeah, we got Antoine saying what's up to Austin. Sorry, crazy fight announcements to pull out from the last show. I know. What is this? Is it a bean and a poop? Oh, man. Yeah. I don't want to do that. All right.
Shit.
Let's
go.
Let's get into it. Before we do all that, D-Rose, how have you been over the past week, my guy? We talk most days of the week, but we haven't talked since Monday. That don't seem too long, but when like I messaged you earlier, and I was like, you know what? I didn't even say nothing about the podcast. We hadn't talked since Monday. Now I kind of feel bad for just being like, hey, I should not send you the pod invite. But how have you been over the past week, my guy?
No, things have been great over here. I actually had to. I think I was telling you a little bit, but I actually had to end up going into work today because this is normally my day off. But I ended up going in, putting in a full shift, and still coming back to get this thing done. So, but hey, it's a car sales life. You know, we know what it is when we're getting into the business. So we're always gonna get stuck like that sometimes. But no, things have been great this way, man. I'm telling you though, FanDuel, I think I might take a break for a little bit, man. I've been swinging and missing a lot. I mean, a lot, and to the point to where I'm now depositing my own money in there. And let's just say I lost about $60 this past weekend, and yeah. That kind of hurt. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little salty about it. And yeah, probably not gonna be on FanDuel for a while if I can't hit too much this weekend.
Yeah, all right. You know, sounds good. Sounds good. I am kind of in the same boat, but not totally, because this past weekend I did all right, and then football, dude, I was losing by one leg, and then my girl was watching Champions League yesterday, soccer, dude, and I lost by another one leg on like the most likely prop to happen. It was like minus 600, and it's like it didn't even happen. It was like $5 to win $600, dude, and lost by one leg. Just burned me. I'm not gonna lie, I got some NBA. I'm sweating out right now, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. Glad you all could make it here tonight. You know, D Rose, and we're gonna turn it around. We're gonna turn it around this weekend. We got Dave, them Kia boys. The cars are still from D Rose. Oh,
hey, I saw the Kia today too. So funny enough. So yeah, the customer will be calling me here in the next couple months. Told me that his car is stolen, and hey, I get another deal out of that. So that's sales, baby.
Shout out insurance. Shout out insurance. Antoine wants to know where everyone's from. Me and D Rose are from Virginia. We got Austin from Washington. D Rose, same here, man. Bad losing streak for a month or so. Not so fun. Oh man. Dave's is down $700. I'm not going to talk about it. Let's not.
Yeah. Oh, I'm down. Yeah. Oh, I'm down big time. But here, I say I had about a good like 3-4 month run where I had just been playing on nothing but their money, and like there were times where I would be right down to my last $10, and then I would hit another bet to get me back up. You know, we've talked about it that I'll always end up saving myself, and I get back up, and then I get knocked back down, and then I knock myself up. But yeah, no, it's been about a 3-week stretch here for me where I have just come up completely bone dry on everything, dude. And it's man, it is demoralizing if if those of you who don't play around on FanDuel or DraftKings or anything like that, again, do it responsibly. But yeah, it's a gut punch when you lose these things, especially by one leg and, you know, a yard here, a fight result here. You chose a third rounder decision and you got a second round finish, Charles Jourdain. So thank you a lot for that. Even though I still love you, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yep. We got Randy Poppy saying what's up, and Joseph is from California. All right, D-Rose, let's get into this show. Our UFC Edmonton recap. Let's get into it. Let's start at the main event. Brandon, the Assassin Baby Moreno, pretty much, dude, looked like the Assassin Baby of old. It was just like, dude, there was nothing that Amir Albazi could have done in that fight to win. And it almost looked like maybe every shot that Brandon Moreno was landing was kind of hurting Albazi. I'm not sure how much Albazi's durability is going to last from here on out. He's tough, but going through all the surgeries and all that, I just don't know how durable he is in the future. But Brandon Moreno, pretty much clean sweep. I did pick him to win that fight. I know you picked Albazi. However, did the fight go anything like you would have imagined if it was, you know, the Brandon Moreno that we saw in the past 2 fights compared to what happened?
Yeah, well, honestly, I think from Brandon Moreno's perspective, I like the way he performed because I thought he absolutely dominated the fight. Did he go out there and go for the finish? No, because there were a couple of times in, I believe he hurt him. I think it was the second round. And then, of course, obviously in that fifth round there, he hurt him pretty bad on multiple occasions. Brandon Moreno hurt Amir Albazi. And, he didn't necessarily go for that kill. So that if there's one thing that I can, knock on him on his performance for Brandon Moreno, it would be that. But dude, I thought he was as clean as can be. I mean, dude was just absolutely. It was every single right hand that he was throwing was just landing on Moreno or landing on Amir Albazi and was just hurting him bad. He ended up having a bad cut. Amir Albazi did under his eye at the end of the fight. Amir Albazi I think he went for one real chance at a takedown, and he got it. And Brandon Moreno right back up to his feet, and then right back in his face, and just hammering him with that right hand. So I thought it was a really good performance from Brandon Moreno. I do agree with you in terms of Amir Albazi, having all the surgeries. It was like a neck surgery. Some people was thinking
surgery.
Yeah, the heart surgery too. So how much of a toll did that really take? And you're going right to the top of the ladder. So kudos to Amir Albazi for being willing to take this fight. But I don't know if for Amir Albazi's perspective, if this just is more of where he's really at, he's not at that top level, or could he have been that way and maybe the surgeries is just taking a notch out of him. I still want to see one more fight from Amir Albazi to make that judgment for sure. But I do think overall, I thought it was a really good performance from Brandon Moreno. And I thought he showed out, man, and completely shut me up.
Hell yeah. Co-main event, cold-blooded Aaron Blanchfield versus Thug Rose Namajunas. This one, some controversy, man. I thought it was pretty clear Rose won the first 2 rounds, and I thought it was pretty clear that Aaron won 4 and 5 because Rose really kind of seemed to let her foot off the gas pedal in those last 2 rounds for some reason. It's almost like she was just like, yeah, I took the first 3. I'm just going to cruise these last 2, and it is what it is. But I guess that 3rd round was the swing round. Personally, I still had Rose winning round 1, 2, and 3, and it ain't like Aaron blew her out 4 and 5. It's just kind of what Rose does, dude. If like she's cruising the first 3 rounds, dude, she almost gets a little bored, and like we kind of saw it in like the Tracy Cortez fight. It was like she just kind of took her foot off the gas, like, oh, like I already won. And we saw Tracy Cortez walking forward and kind of boxing up Rose. So that's what Aaron did, dude. And it looked like absolute dog shit, dude. But she was walking forward and throwing punches, getting a hold of Rose and just kind of getting her down, dude. But I still think Aaron's striking is just terrible. She has no striking defense at all, dude. And we've already seen the Mackenzie Dern experiment, dude. I almost don't know what UFC's doing here, like, because it's pretty much the same thing. Unless she can learn to really take a girl down or have some sort of boxing skill, dude, it's like we know the plan to beat her. So if you can stop the takedowns, you should win that fight. I do personally think, I'm not saying it was a robbery, but I thought Rose won that fight. What about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, I told you because I had a bet on
we got
Rose,
Silent Six in here too.
Yes, sir. A Silent Six. Long time no see, brother. Long time no see. But no, I did think that Aaron Blanchfield, I told you after the fight, I was like, man, there's a very good chance that Blanchfield just won 3, 4, and 5 and won the fight. I wanted to believe that Rose had won. I thought the 4th round it was closer than the 3rd round. You could tell like there in the 3rd round, like you said, it looked like Rose just kind of took her foot off the gas. And then I thought in round 4, I did think that Rose had a little bit more of a surge, but I think ultimately just the wrestling and the control and Blanchfield ending the round on top control as well. It's kind of the lasting image in the judge's mind. So, when they're scoring that round, if it's relatively close, you can see why they ended up ruling it for Blanchfield. I did think it was just another gritty performance from Aaron Blanchfield, because I'm not going to lie. As I said, I picked Rose. I placed a bet on her. I was feeling very confident that Rose was going to be able to get it done. And Blanchfield just, she doesn't quit. She's got a motor, and like you said, her striking, it might not look the greatest, man, but man, I will give her credit because she's not scared to go in there and throw, dude. Because I mean, she stood in the pocket with Jessica Andrade and Rose Namajunas and was not scared to trade punches with them. So if there's one thing I can give her credit for, I'll give her credit for that. Although her striking is not the greatest, she lands some good shots every now and then. But ultimately, it's her ground game that ends up getting her the dubs every time. And, ultimately that ground game and her cardio for Erin Blanchfield, she really pushes the pace, pushes the pressure, and, she kind of makes her opponents wilt. And I think that's exactly what Rose did. No pun intended. But, I thought Rose wilted under the pressure that Blanchfield was able to put on her later in the fight. And that's how Blanchfield was able to get the win. So it was a good win. It was a good win and a much needed win for Blanchfield to kind of, stay where she wants to be at the top of the division.
Yeah. I hope she's a favorite going into her next fight again too, because I can't wait to, bet against her. I mean,
what do you think about her and Grasso? What do you think about that?
I think Grasso boxes her up, dude.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
so you think a 5-round fight? The only thing I would say
is good enough on the ground to stay safe and survive the rounds until getting up to the next round and boxing her up again.
It just almost seemed like Grasso, I don't know, it's just almost like she went backwards in that Valentina fight. So that was the only thing, like, in that third one, even in the second fight, she had a lot better takedown defense than she did in the third fight. I mean, Valentina almost kind of took her down to will. That's going to be Erin's game plan at the end of the day. And although it's not as easy to stop, even though you do know it's coming. So, I mean, I honestly think that's the fight that's going to happen next. And I like the matchup. I think it's a good fight.
Yeah, let's go, Grasso. I might have to attend that one. Just so I can be there cheering in the crowd. Yeah. With that being said, feature brother
Aaron Blanchfield.
Just like, dude, I was in New Jersey. Like everyone's like, yeah, and I'm like, boo.
You're the only one sitting there booing. Like, you're not even going to be happy for Alexa Grasso. You're just going to be pissed off at Erin Blanchfield.
I'm a Alexa Grasso fan. Here we go.
Yeah, but in that fight, you're going to be more happy to see Blanchfield lose than Alexa win.
You know what? It is what it is. Okay. Kyle Machado, Brenison Hibario, dude. I thought Kyle Machado won that fight, dude. The Brenison Hibario versus Kyle Machado looked exactly like I personally thought Kyle Machado, versus Amin Zahabi versus Pedro Munoz, dude. The fights kind of look the same, but it's like the opposite people won that fight, dude. I don't really understand like what happened. Brenison Hibario does win the fight via decision. I thought Kyle Machado won, but that is who I picked to win the fight. Anything there, or you want to move on?
I thought Hibario won just because I thought the power shots at the end of the day, because Machado was kind of doing too much of the thing with his hands down, and every single time he would do that, like it was just pow. It just looked like it was just big shot after big shot. And if you're judging it off damage, as my cat's just literally running around like a freaking psycho and just jump behind my chair. I thought just for sure, Hibario, this bastard's like going crazy over here. Like I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted from it. And like making shit fall in the closet. Like, what the hell are you doing, bro? But anyway, I thought Hibario won that fight, and he won it. He won it fair and square.
All right, fair enough. Ariane Da Silva, Jasmine Jasdavicius, dude. Ariane Da Silva, dude. She's not the queen of violence anymore. Now she's got married. She's just the queen of, dude. I had to explain to my fiance. I was like, dude, this is one of the worst cases of not having head movement that I've ever seen in my life. And I guess maybe I was blind to it before because I was always picking Ariane Lipski to win the fight. And I guess I was picking against her like this week. So I was really like focused in, like really watching her during this fight, dude. And her head, like she has her hands up, but she like moves her like wasting up. She has no head movement. Like it was like her head is always just right there, just right in the middle, just ready to get fucking wonked. And I told her, I'm like, she has no head movement. She was like, please, like, explain, like, what do you mean? And I like pointed out to her, and I was like, now watch Jazz. And like you saw her head, like, duck to the side, go over here. And she was like, I get it. And then yeah, I had Jazz in this fight KO 2 or 3 because I thought she was probably going to end up ground and pounding Ariane in this fight, and she did ground and pound her quite a bit, and Ariane had never been submitted. Well, what do you know? Jazz Davicius gets the 3rd round submission. I'm not too upset because I had Jazz 3 or decision in a few parlays, so it is what it is. What'd you think about this one?
Yeah, no, I thought it was a good performance of Jazz Vicious. She looks like a savage, man. And I've slowly kind of became a fan of her. I mean, I was a little bit of a hater of her initially because I was like, man, all she is a wrestler. She goes for these weak takedowns, and but I don't know. I just like her gritty style. I thought at first when she was standing with De Silva, I was like, yo, what is Jasmine doing? I even sent you the message, and I was like, okay, apparently the UFC has talked to Jasmine and was like, we don't want you to wrestle anymore. Because I was like, dude, why? She hadn't even tried to take that in the first round. And the time that she tried it with like 15 seconds left when she caught one of De Silva's kicks, Jasmine took her down with ease, like when she took her down. So, yeah, I thought that was a clear path to victory. And Jazz, she's an absolute grinder, man, and she gets it done. Even at 37 years old, I mean, dude, she looks good for her age, and yeah, she's an absolute beast.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll move on. Marc-Andre Barriault, Dustin Stolfus. This was fun. Marc-Andre Barriault did his best Gabe Green impression and got knocked out by Dustin Stolfus. I don't know what else to say. Anything here, D-Rose?
Absolute barn burner for as long as it lasted. And the worst part too, like I ended up getting up, and so I ended up ordering pizza, and it was right at the beginning of that fight. So it was like right in the, I guess it was like at probably like the minute mark of the first round or whatever. And so I step outside and I get in my car because I'm getting ready to go pick up the pizza, and I turn on my phone, and all of a sudden, like, I just see Marc-Andre Barriault laying out, and I was like, dude, what the hell happened? So I had to actually rewind it and actually watch it. But yeah, just an absolute slugfest. And I can't believe Powerbar, as Dave said, I cannot believe Powerbar did that, man. Absolutely crushed my best.
Knocked out by Dustin Stolfus, dude. Like, what?
I mean, he went 3 rounds of Chris Curtis, but didn't couldn't last against Dustin Stolfus. Like, what are we doing?
Anyway, Mike Malott, Trevin Giles. This one was for the pick champ, dude. And I personally thought Trevin Giles had a case to be up 2-0 going into that 3rd round, dude. I thought the fight was really, really close. Maybe I'm blind, oblivious. We were talking during this fight, and I'm like, dude, Mike Malott's like a minus 1,000 favorite right now, minus 1,500. You're like, how? He's not doing anything. I'm like, exactly. Like, dude, they were both just throwing like one shot apiece, not really doing much. Dude, I once again, for sure biased, but I thought Trevin Giles was winning that fight going into the 3rd round. And when I checked the odds, I almost cried a little bit. These were the odds in the 3rd round. Minus 4,000 Mike Malott, plus 1,500 Trevin Giles. Because I screenshotted you and I sent it to you, and I was like, dude, how is this happening? Like, if Trevin Giles gets this, people are going to scream robbery. But I don't think that it would have been, even though the odds would have told you that would have been a robbery. But yeah, that was a close fight. And dude, Mike Malott's not that good, dude. I don't know if he was just trying to practice his jabs this time or what, but dude, that shit sucked. That whole fight sucked. What's your thoughts on Mike Malott versus Officer Trevin Giles? Newly minted officer again, Trevin Giles, by the way, because he was scared he was going to get cut. Probably he probably got cut after this fight, to be honest. Yeah,
that's a very good chance. I mean, and he's put on fun fights in his time, but I remember when I told you after I saw one of the guys tweeting when they're showing the live tweets, at the start of the third round of this fight, when they said Mike Malott was up 2-0, I was like, what are they smoking? Like, I was like, absolutely no way he's up 2-0 in this fight. I was like, at best he won the second round. For me, and we have mentioned it, but when we talked about it, but I just thought, honestly, I thought Trevin Giles could have won this fight. I mean, I thought if because dude, he kept snapping Mike Malott with that jab to where like Mike Malott's face was just red and puffy, and his nose was bleeding, and like he was getting snapped at that jab. But that's all Trevin Giles would end up throwing. And I thought there at the second, it's like heading towards the end of the second round, Mike Malott just started putting combos together. Not all of them were landing, but honestly, in a fight where neither guy's really doing too much, kind of the guy who ends up doing more ends up winning the fight. And I really thought that's what ended up happening. I just thought Trevin Giles just didn't do enough really there at the latter part of the second round and in the third round to really take what honestly I thought he had the fight all along. There in that second round, but I just thought he kind of let his foot off the gas there. Kind of was watching his work and kind of watched the fight go by.
All right, fair enough. Let's get to all these prelims real quick. I'm just going to run through them, and I'll get your opinion at the end. So Amin Zahabi gets the decision win over Pedro Munoz. That shit sucked. Amin Zahabi won that fight with the jab. I swear that's the only punch he threw the whole fight was a jab, dude. I was so upset watching that shit, and what can you do? Because if it works, why not keep doing it? Charles Jourdain gets the second round submission. Man, that kind of burned me because I had Charles Jourdain 3-or decision in a lot of bets, but he gets a second round submission. But I'm glad Air Jourdain does get the decision win does get the win over Victor Henry there. Yusuf Zalal, Jack Shore, probably my biggest win of the night. I did have Change of Cheddar. We had Yusuf Zalal sub 2 or 3 paired with Derek Lewis KO 1 or 2, but Derek Lewis fight fell off. So it was $5 and we end up hitting 5 to 175 on the Yusuf Zalal sub 2 or 3. So shout out all y'all that tailed me and changed the cheddar this past weekend. And then Alexander Romanov, Rodrigo Nascimento. Alexander Romanov was just being kind of fat the first round, was just laying on him, and then got tired, dude. And then outboxed Rodrigo Nascimento the following 2 rounds, dude, with these Superman jabs. He was like leaving his head hanging and then jumping up on one foot and like popping him. It was the most ugly thing you had ever seen, dude. But Alexander Romanov clearly won that fight. I don't care about the rest of the prelims. What do you anything you got from the prelims, man?
Not too much in particular, except for that Romanov, and that'll lead to one of the questions that Antoine left for us here as well.
Yeah.
What do you think about what do you think about Romanov? They and I don't think they necessarily cut him. So I know they said that he was going into the last fight of his contract. I guess the UFC just decided to not re-sign him. But what do you think about them not bringing Romanov back?
Not surprising. Not surprising one bit, dude. I mean, I liked him when he first got in the UFC, and then he was just started being real fat.
He did a damn good job at that.
Yeah. We got Dana saying, "Hey, everyone." Also, I'm gonna let you guys answer this. I know you are. You couldn't be more of a fan of the teams from Washington, D-Rose.
No, absolutely not. Dallas Cowboy and Dallas Maverick fan. Not even from Texas. I do have family from Texas though, and I don't know. I always liked Dirk Nowitzki when I was a kid watching, and my family's always been Dallas Cowboys fans predominantly, except for my dad. Weirdly was a Kansas City Chief. Even when I was a kid, he was a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and now he's getting the bask in all the glory of one of the best dynasties ever.
Yeah, and being from Virginia, we didn't have any teams growing up, and I didn't consider the Redskins at the time a football fan. So I was a Michael Vick fan. So when he went to Atlanta, D-Rose can vouch for me. I was a Falcons fan from year 2000 until 2017 when I gave up football. So and then I kind of started. Then I kind of started watching again this past year, and now I don't really have a team. I just kind of
it's fun just to watch, man.
I'm a degenerate gambler, so it's okay. D-Rose is a cowgirl. All right, D-Rose. Let me eat these damn beans real quick. So
Hey, that's
this past
embarrassing for
weekend,
me to admit in public too. Like, especially now, because they're asses here. And they're about to tank the season because Dak Prescott is now ruled to be out longer than 4 weeks. So yeah, we're literally gonna be riding the season out with
dude,
nobody.
Trey Lance's gonna come in and like shut down the dynasty. They're gonna be like, oh my god, Trey Lance, he's gonna be throwing 60-yard bombs to CD Lamb, like catching 3 touchdowns a game.
I love it. I'd love it if so, but sheesh, I don't think it's gonna happen.
All right, let me eat these damn beans. So this past weekend, UFC Edmonton, we had 4 different picks. We only used 3 of them. We threw out Surrey City versus Garrett Armfield, which, not that cool because Surrey City won that fight. I needed that one. But the 3 that we did pick were Ayman Zahabi versus Pedro Munoz. In that shitty fight where I went Pedro Munoz, D-Rose went Ayman Zahabi. Trevin Giles versus Mike Malott, where I went the huge underdog in Trevin Giles and personally thought he won the fight, and D-Rose went Mike Malott as he should have, because that's what everyone that's smart does. But yeah, and the last one, he saved me from eating 3 beans, D-Rose. I picked the Brandon Moreno and you picked Amir Albazi there, so I only have to eat 2 beans this week. So let's get these bad boys going. So crank it open. I'm gonna do the D-Rose technique. It's damn, that's a stink bug and marshmallow already.
Because you don't know what you're going to get, so you grab the one, and it's like, oh shit! Like,
here it is.
Man,
Fuck.
you can't go back. You grab
Please
it.
be marshmallow. Please be marshmallow. My bag's down there.
Vanilla. Please be vanilla extract. I'm saying, you couldn't tell what it was?
No, because I don't know the fucking stink bug and the fucking marshmallow one. I don't know, like, dude.
The marshmallow one, that's why I was like, put vanilla extract, because that's all. That's all it is.
That one took a second to hit me. Not gonna lie.
Well, it's one of the ones that. And guys, we're telling you, these beans have been, I think maybe where they've just been sitting here where we've been kind of crushing them throughout the year.
I have 2 boxes that I haven't opened yet. I have 2 brand new that I haven't opened yet. So.
Yeah, they get stuck.
All right.
I'm not gonna lie, I used 2 of them because my family wanted to play with them, so I had them eat a bunch of them. I
took 1 to your Airbnb when I came, because I opened it brand new. So. All right. And second one, dude, please be a blue one. Oh no, dude, I've never had this one. Dude, this one's dead fish or strawberry banana smoothie. If it's dead fish, I might actually like throw up a lot, dude.
Oh, I'm telling you,
I don't even eat seafood regularly. Like, I don't like the smell of it.
Bro, because I eat dinner like literally right before I hop on the podcast, and I had eaten some salmon the same night that I had eaten one of those, and that shit was so gross. It like turned me off of salmon for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. God damn it, it's rough. I'm just letting you know, it's rough. I had the peach. What is it? Peach?
Strawberry banana smoothie?
Oh, yeah, I've never even had that one. I've only had the dead fish. I don't even know what the strawberry banana smoothie tastes like.
Dude. Oh, I'm scared.
So I envy you if you get it.
It's not bad. It tastes good.
No.
Yeah, it tastes good, dude. I like that.
Oh, man.
Fish scales. Just kidding. Fish scales. No, dude, that one's pretty good. If you do get the strawberry banana smoothie, it tastes really like strawberries and bananas. Like, it's pretty good.
Oh, bastard. That's
I ate a fucking stink bug, dude.
Damn you.
I ate a stink bug, so it is what it is.
Anyway. Yeah, with the dead fishes. Woo! But hey, you ate it too.
It might be bad if I actually get the dead fish, because I don't even like the one. Well, I don't like any seafood, dude. Like it's just not good. I just don't like it.
I love
All
seafood.
right.
I ain't gonna lie.
All right. He said Falcons are good now. Most overpaid QB in the league. They were going
Must
to
be a
that
Browns
fish.
fan.
Oh man.
Hey, you got Jameis, so baby. Let's go. Even though he throws picks, but I still love the guy.
Nah, I'm gonna guess Dave is a Giants or Jets fan.
Nah, most overpaid shit QB. That's definitely the Browns. That's Oh no!
Oh,
Got it.
good call, right? Good call.
Yeah, no, it was. I was thinking Deshaun Watson because he was literally the highest paid quarterback until this year. So,
all right, hero. So let's get to our UFC news and fight announcements for the week, and we're going to start off with an absolute banger with everyone's favorite fighter that just recently got a haircut. He don't look like that no more, and he's got a beard on him. But rest in peace, Honey Barcelos, I guess. Not going to pretend like I've been the biggest Honey Barcelos fan to begin with, but UFC 311, January 18th, we got Peyton Talbot taking on Honey Barcelos, D-Rose. You know how I feel here. It's going to be no surprise that I'm going to pick Peyton Talbot to win this. I know you're going to pick Peyton Talbot to win this. Let me throw this question at you. What do you think odds open up at for this fight or close at?
So they'll probably close. I mean, Peyton Talbot would be every bit of I'd say minus 600 probably. Probably close it right about minus 600.
I was going at probably 1,000 or 1,250.
I don't think it'll be that much, just because I think there's going to be some people who will respect the fact that Barcelos has had some longevity in the UFC. I think there'll be some bettors who are going to just respect that alone. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a close fight necessarily. And Barcelos has been finished before, so yeah. And Peyton Talbot's got that killer instinct, so I could see it, or I could see Peyton Talbot maybe taking his time and maybe just beating him down over 3 rounds too. So I wouldn't be surprised.
I could see it happening in his last fight about he was gonna take his time and beat the dude down over 3 rounds in the last fight, and he punched the dude off the leg kick and killed him in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was absolutely rough. Barcelos is a little bit tougher though. I will give him credit.
Umar did it to him. Wouldn't surprise me too much, dude. Here we go. Fight probably going to get canceled because Daniel Marcos fights always fall out. But Said Nurmagomedov is out, and Daniel Marcos will now face Adrian Yanez at UFC Tampa, December 14th. Man, I wanted to go to this one, but my fiance, we have to go to one of her family's Sweet 16 / quinceanera the week before that. So I don't know if I'll be free enough to go to this fight, but I would love to go to UFC Tampa. What's your thoughts on this fight though?
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good fight. I don't know why initially, like when I saw Daniel Marcos, I was thinking oh god, Kevin Borjas. Like I don't know. Like I don't know why I was thinking that, but no, that should be a good fight. I'm a big fan of Adrian Yanez, and yeah, I've been dying to see him back for a little bit now. I think he just kind of needs to, get back in and get to a groove and, kind of get comfortable with fights, and, doesn't necessarily need to be aiming at the top contenders. I think needs to be in a rebuild set, and Daniel Marcos is a good enough test, but I think one that Adrian Yanez should be able to pass as well. So, but no, that should be a good fight.
All right. We'll move on. A fun one, dude. We have Ian Machado Gary, or Ian. I don't even know what I say. What do I say usually?
I think it was Macheri. Nah, it was Macheri Gatto, I think.
I don't even remember. Anyway, we got Ian Machado Gary taking on Joaquin Numanza Buckley. That's going to be UFC Tampa, December 14th. I think that's going to be headlining it. Yeah. Yeah, headlines.
Yeah, it's gonna be headlining. So, and that's a really good fight. And obviously, me, I'm a fan of both fighters. I know Ian Gary gets a lot of hate, but I mean, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care what Ian Gary does outside of the octagon with whoever he's sharing his wife with or whatever, bro. Like, I'm not into all that shit. Like, I'm just watching the dude fight, and he's a great fighter. And so Joaquin Buckley, I will say, like I was watching some highlights the other day, and it was showing where Chris Curtis had knocked out Joaquin Buckley, and it just goes to show, like, I think at that point Joaquin Buckley was like maybe a fight or two from getting cut from the UFC to him cutting down to 170, and him really kind of finding his stride in the UFC, getting a lot of good wins. Good, badass knockout against Wonderboy Thompson in Buckley's last fight, and getting a headline against Ian Gary, who you could say the winner of this fight could be right there towards the title shot. So this is a really well matched fight, and I really do like it.
I agree, man. I gotta go Ian Gary by probably knocking him out though. So Derek Lewis pulled out this past weekend, and they rebooked the fight for Janta Janice. It's gonna be Marcin Tybura. That'll be next weekend, dude. UFC 309 in New York. I can't get over how dumb Marcin Tybura's haircut looks in this photo.
It's so ridiculous.
The worst haircut ever made. Why? No, dude. I hope Janta knocks him out for even thinking of having that haircut. But Marcin Tybura, when he does lose, it's by early knockout for the most part. But what's your thoughts here?
I think this is honestly, I think it's really bad matchmaking because at least for Johnson Janice anyway, because I think Marcin Tybura is a guy who is not going to hesitate taking Johnson Janice down and really just controlling the fight from there. And we saw Johnson Janice, his takedown defense wasn't great against almost at Autumn Lane. Austin Lane. I don't know how well it's going to be against Marcin Tybura, who's a pretty good wrestler overall. So I'm interested to see what those lines are when it opens.
I agree. Should be a rather close fight. All the highlights from this past weekend, all that, dude. Look at it. Hold on, let me go forward. Let's look at that flying fat punch, dude. Look at that. He was bombing that thing. Oh man, that was nice.
So nice the UFC said see you.
Yeah. Should have been a ground and pound on that one. I can't believe this is the highlight they all have for that fight. I'm just a hater. It is what it is. Let's go, Assassin, baby.
100%.
Here we go. Nate, the train in the UFC, baby, is going to be fighting Doo-Ho Choi. That's going to be UFC 310, December 7th.
Oh, that's a banger.
Because Korean Superboy's fun. He's got power, but a little bit older.
How Nate
dude.
Langwear fights too, man. He takes damage, and the thing is with Nate Langwear, like, he's that dude.
He's probably gonna win.
If you don't hurt me, I'm probably gonna win. Dude. Like, he'd be like if you were fighting in the UFC, like on UFC 5. And you keep hurting him, and his power bar just doesn't go down. And you're like, dude, what the hell? Like, how many times have I hurt him? Like, how is his health not depleting at all? So I'll be curious to see. Now, Doo-Ho Choi in his last fight against Bill Algeo, he kind of slowly and methodically put the finish down on Bill Algeo too. So we do know Doo-Ho Choi to be a little bit more patient now than what he was before. And Nate Langwear takes damage, man. So that's a fun fight, man. I like that.
Yes, sir. I'm a fan of that one. What is this? Santiago Ponzinibbio taking on Carlston Harris, dude. We haven't seen him in a little bit. That's going to be UFC Vegas 101, January 11th. Do you care about that one at all?
That should be a solid fight. I'm surprised Ponzinibbio is still fighting at this point. I know he's I know he works for the Spanish broadcast for the UFC, and he does a lot of analyst breakdowns and stuff like that for the UFC on their Spanish broadcast. So I figured he would kind of put more time into that, but still pretty sharp with the boxing. And like you said, I hadn't seen Carlston Harris in a little bit, but good fighter as well. And I think this is definitely a contrast of styles, but it should be a good fight.
I can battle for who can hear better, dude.
Or who could float away with them bad boys.
Dude, both their ears are all fucked up.
Let's take
here we go.
boys.
This one kind of upsets me, dude, because I had Nicholas Dalby this weekend in a big old parlay against Zaleski, but Nicholas Dalby is out this weekend against Zaleski dos Santos, and he will now face Zach Scroggins. I'm trying to see what is this belt on his shoulder. I don't
Looks
know.
like
I
the
haven't
BMF.
no, definitely not the BMF title, but I haven't done any research on this guy. But yeah, we'll make picks when it comes to it, but probably going to be going Zaleski in this fight this weekend. Any thoughts here before we get to it?
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll get into it here in a little bit. So
all right. We got a fun one here. We've got Ketlin Vieira taking on Macy Chasson. That's UFC February 22nd, dude. They are booking them out already, huh?
yeah, and I guess they're trying to, because I'm going to assume is that a fight night or is that I thought that was a pay-per-view.
It just says UFC's February 22nd event, so it don't say.
Yeah, but I think the yeah, because I was trying to see if that was the Australia fighter or for the card in Australia, but no, that should be a pretty good fight. Macy Chiasson tough, and Caitlin Vieira, we saw her in her last fight against Kayla Harrison, and gave Kayla Harrison a tough test. So yeah, that's a well-matched fight. They're just using Caitlin Vieira as a catapult for whoever's going to get the next title shot. Apparently, though.
Yeah, maybe. We got Montana De La Rosa. Surprised she's still fighting. She's going to be taking on Luana Carolina. That's March 1st, dude. What are we doing? That's the last one that I have.
Yeah, I don't really care about Luana Carolina. I mean, Montana. I mean, I think she won her last fight, didn't she? I believe she did anyway.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't remember, to be honest. But yeah, she's still tough. So I like her grittiness.
All right, so let's get into the rest of our news that we got on MMA Orbit. See if we got anything fun here. This fight that was going to be this weekend, dude. Miles Johns versus Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt pulled out, and then now Miles Johns pulled out of that fight as well. So that fight's not going to be taking place this weekend. Azamat is out of UFC 309 with Nikita Krylov. Bryce Mitchell said he's got a new fight. We don't know who it is yet, though. Cody Garbrandt, out of the fight. Miles Johns with injury. Looks like they both fell out of the fight. Tracy Cortez is out of the UFC Tampa Fight Night with Miranda Maverick, dude. That fight's never going to happen, huh?
Yeah, it keeps getting moved, and one person gets hurt, or one of them gets pulled to take another fight. So yeah, that's the new Tony Habib.
Yeah, and I don't see it here, but I think Charles Oliveira is out of the fight. Oh yeah, here we go. Renato Moicano reveals UFC Tampa main event offer, expects to return in January. So he's not going to take the fight, but apparently Charles Oliveira is out of the fight with
I thought it was Michael Chandler.
Michael Chandler. Oh yeah. So
yeah, Michael Chandler is the one supposed
Michael
to be out.
Chandler is out. Oh, I don't know. One of them's out. Hold on.
Yeah, I believe it's Chandler because and I saw where Charles Oliveira retweeted where someone had said that they're trying to find an opponent for Charles Oliveira, and Dustin Poirier had retweeted Charles' tweet and said, "I'm in."
Yeah, there we go. So, but I don't know why I thought. Now I'm going to go crazy. I don't know. They'll figure it out. We'll talk about it when they announce it, dude. I'm not going to try to find it at this point. It don't matter. It truly, right now, until they have a fight, it don't matter. All right. So, let's see what we got here. If any of you guys got Wawa, don't get the. Yeah, I got a bunch of Wawas near me. I wish I had a Sheets. D-Rose got the Sheets on his side of the state. I got the Wawa on my side of the state. You've been warned. Cody Garbrandt got to be broke. I mean, he was champion. I'm sure he's got some money. Me and D-Rose probably got Ian Garrett and knock out Joaquin Buckley. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I need to see when that fight comes because. Yeah, that's a well-matched fight.
Yeah, and Oliveira versus Chandler. Well, Oliveira or And one of the two's out of that fight, so we'll see what happens there. And we got Doer State saying, what's up, boys? I'm only here for the opinion jabs. What's going on? What's going on, Doer? All right, D-Rose, let's get it to the picks for this weekend. We got UFC Vegas 100. So that should be fun. Hopefully not too many boring ones, dude, but I'm not going to pretend like there ain't a bunch of shit on here where I'm like, what are we doing here? But anyway, am I sharing? I am indeed sharing. Let's get into it. We got UFC Vegas 100 taking place Saturday, November 9th on my 32nd birthday. Going to be taking place at 4 p.m. East Coast time at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. We've got 12 fights to go over. We did have a few more, but we did have some fallout. So we got Neil, the Haitian sensation Magny, taking on Carlos Prates, the cigarette smoker, in our main event, dude. That's going to be a fun fight. In our co-main event, we do have Ricky Tercios taking on Bernardo Sopai. Feature fight of the night, we have GM3, Gerald Mearshart, taking on Rene de Ritter. Dude, if his fight name is not the reindeer, dude, he is missing out on that. But that is a former one championship double champion, Rene de Ritter there. So pretty good fighter. We've got Luana Pinheiro taking on Jillian, the Savage Robertson. We've got Mansour Abdul Malik taking on Dusko Todorovic, dude. We haven't seen him in a long time. I thought he got cut. We got Karolina Kovalevich taking on one of my favorite fighters to support in the UFC. We got Denise D. Gomes. We've got Cortavius Ramius taking on Gaston Bolaños. We got Elizu Zaleski dos Santos taking on UFC newcomer Zach Scroggins. We got Charles Radke, a.k.a. Chuck Buffalo, taking on Semi the Jedi, Matthew Simmelsberger. We've got Cody the Spartan Stamen taking on Damon, the Monster Blackshear. We've got Trayshawn Gore taking on Antonio Tricoli. And the first fight of the night going to be Melissa Mullins taking on Claudia Segula. Yeah. So that's where we'll start at, D-Rose. No mess. Melissa Mullins is 6-1 overall. She's 33 years old, 5'7" and a 68-inch reach. On the other hand, Claudia Segula is 6-1 overall. She's 25 years old, 5'8", and we don't have a reach. But let me log into this and I'll let you know the odds. Come on, DK. I hate that I gotta log in every time, but it's for my safety. That's what happens when you get hacked a couple of times. Anyway, so over under on this one is set at 2.5, minus 250 for the over, under and plus 190. I'm not gonna pretend like we're betting on this one. Melissa Mullins minus 258. Claudia Segula is plus 210. Yeah, I have to go Melissa Mullins only because I've seen her fight before. Give me Melissa Mullins, and she's a pretty big favorite, minus 258. Give me Melissa Mullins decision here, D-Rose. Which way are you going? Are you there?
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize I had my mic on mute there. But yeah, we're good. I'll ride with you there as well. I hadn't seen Segula really fight too much. It's just not super familiar, and we know Melissa Mullins. She could be real gritty at times. So yeah, let's take Melissa Mullins here by decision.
All right, me and D-Rose both on no mess, Melissa Mullins by decision. Here we go. We've got the newly named Mr. Vicious, Trayshawn Gore, taking on Malvado, Antonio Tricoli. I believe that is Mackenzie Dern's fiance, boyfriend, maybe even husband at this point. Currently, odds for this fight, minus 175, Trayshawn Gore, plus 145 for Antonio Tricoli. Trayshawn Gore, 30 years old, 6 foot, 75-inch reach, while Antonio Tricoli is 33 years old, 6'5" and an 80-inch reach. D-Rose, I'm going to let you do the honors. I'm going to pass it to you, my guy.
Yeah, this was a little tricky to pick because I will say that Trayshawn Gore, he's had some moments and he's had, a little bit of potential when he came out of the Ultimate Fighter, but man, I'm trying to refrain from sneezing here. But yeah, this is a tough matchup, and I know he lost to Brian Battle, and Brian Battle ended up pretty much wrestling him for the most part, and Anton Tricoli, he can wrestle, but man, Anton Tricoli, that dude has been Tricoli has been going through some stuff here lately. I believe he ended up actually getting arrested not too long ago. He ended up doing, I don't know exactly what he did, but yeah, ended up doing some what was rumored to be some kind of dirty stuff that ended up getting locked up for a little bit of time. Kind of up and down with the camp, I'm sure. And in that last fight against Shara, well, I mean, Shara's takedown defense is getting better, but dude, he just kind of went for one takedown and completely gassed. I know he took that fight on short notice, but he technically was getting ready for a fight the week before. So, I mean, I don't know how much that does to him in terms of his cardio or anything like that. But yeah, I think I'm going to go Trayshawn Gore here, and I think Trayshawn Gore. Let's go knockout. I'm gonna say knockout round. I might do a little knockout round 2 or 3 Trayshawn Gore, but let's go Trayshawn Gore here.
All right, D-Rose. I'm going to go the opposite of you, but it's not because I think Tricoli's good or anything like that. It's just because I don't think that Trayshawn Gore is even remotely good or UFC level. I believe he probably should have had maybe 5 more fights before getting to the UFC, but he's just kind of been, I don't want to say thrown to the wolves because it's not like, Tricoli's a top level UFC fighter, but I guess I can see ways Tricoli winning as where Trayshawn Gore has to land that knockout punch. And I just don't know if he can, to be honest. So, yeah, give me Tricoli to win this fight. Probably not going to be betting it, but yeah, I just don't think Trayshawn Gore is the best fighter. Nor do I think he's really UFC level. But as I said, he is fairly new to the UFC. I'm looking for my damn pen. I don't know where it went. See if I can write our picks down, but damn, dude. It is what it is. I'll just have to type it. Yeah, so I'm going to go Tricoli. Give me Tricoli to win this fight. It would be a very boring decision. Let's see what you guys saying here. Austin going with Gore. All right. So next fight of the night, we'll move on up. We've got Cody, the Spartan Stamen, taking on Damon, the Monster Blackshear. Cody Stamen is 21-7-1 overall. 5'6", 64.5-inch reach. So I don't know if I said he's 35 years old, and he is currently the plus 230 dog. Damon the Monster Blackshear, 14-7-1 overall, 30 years old, 5'10" and a 72.2-inch reach. That's weird reach. Currently minus 285 favorite. Yeah, D Rose. This one's one where it's like. I don't know how Cody Stamen wins this fight because he's a wrestle boxer. He's going to try to get Damon down, but we've seen Damon have very good jiu-jitsu, like has one of the only twisters in the UFC. So we know he's solid on the ground. And so I don't know that Cody's going to stay safe there at all. We've seen him get submitted quite often. So yeah, dude, give me Damon the Monster to submit Cody Stamen at some point during this fight. Which way you going, man? And I'm gonna go grab a pen real quick.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. This is a tough one to call for me because as you just went over his style, as far as Cody Stamen, the wrestle boxer type, and Damon Blackshear, he's really a big dude and he knows how to use his range well. So that's one thing that I think is going to be hard for Cody Stamen to work in there for. I think in terms of getting the takedown, I think Cody Stamen is a good wrestler and he can work his way in to get takedowns. The only thing, man, in that last fight that he had, I think it was against Douglas Silva de Andrade. I just thought Cody Stamen, honestly, I thought he should have been given the fight because I thought he won. But he also, I will say, kind of lapsed a little bit in that fight and kind of got a little bit too comfortable when his, and I don't know. He's got the wrestling ability, and I think he worked his way in there. I don't know. I'm just not the biggest believer in Damone Blackshear. I do not know why I picked Jose Johnson against him. Now he ended up twistering Jose Johnson, so joke's on me. But I don't know, man. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Stamen. I'm gonna go Cody Stamen here.
All right.
Man, is it tough? Yes, but yeah. Let's I'll give Cody Stamen a shot here as a dog.
All right, that's for sure going in the pick champ. Just so you know, there's no way of escaping that one. There is.
Now, let's do it. I'll take it. I'll take a bite on the dog here.
All right. We got. Let's see. Around the people. All right. Let's move on to the next one. We got Chuck Buffalo, Charles Radke taking on Semi the Jedi, Matthew Semmelsberger. Chuck Buffalo is 34 years old, 5'9", 72-inch reach, and loves yelling racial slurs if he wins fights. Matthew Semi the Jedi Semmelsberger is 11-7 overall, 31 years old, 6'1", and a 75-inch reach. D-Rose, it's no secret which way I'm going to be going here, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it to you. And let's see if you go the other way or if you hop on the Semi and want to honk that horn, brother.
Dun, dun. End up cranking that thing up, baby. Man, not gonna lie, this is another one that is tough for me to pick. Man, doesn't it look funny now that I picked Charles Radke to beat Carlos Prates? I mean, that's absolutely hilarious. But to be fair, he looked all right in that first round before he ended up getting kneed outside of the octagon. Like, he got kneed so hard, he looked like he got kicked like a soccer ball. Like, it was absolutely vicious the way Carlos Prates put him out. But dude, Charles Radke's tough, man, and he's got good wrestling. He's pretty tough. He's got good boxing. That Gilbert Urbina knockout that he had was pretty nice. He was hurting Urbina on the fight. Multiple on the feet multiple times. He took him down a couple times in that first round as well. Before he ended up finally clubbing him on the feet. I think Semmelsberger doesn't have the greatest IQ to me, man, in certain moments in the fight. And, kind of makes a lot of bad decisions and not the greatest takedown defense. I go back to that, the Jeremiah Wells fight where he kept dropping Jeremiah Wells, yet he kept getting taken down. I mean, it was amazing to watch. So yeah, I want to go Charles Radke here. And I think Semmelsberger's tough. So I do like a round 3 or decision if I'm playing this for Charles Radke here. But let's go Charles Radke.
Let me ask you this, since you picked against him. Do you think Semi the Jedi drops him?
I don't know if Charles Radke really gives him the chance to. I think Charles Radke works for the wrestling not too long after the fight starts. And I think he's going to try to keep it there for the most of the fight.
Gotcha. Because I don't know if I've seen a Matthew Semmelsberger fight where he hasn't dropped his opponent, dude. He drops everybody that he fights. Yeah. Here we go. Elijah Zaleski dos Santos, or I'm sorry, on that one. That's our third different pick. I'm going Semi the Jedi, D Rose on Charles Radke, and that's just because I'm a huge Semi the Jedi fan. I love that he drops everyone that he fights. I always root for the guy. Super exciting. But that's pretty much the only reason why. And I just don't think Chuck Buffalo is the greatest fighter. Let's be honest. He went to decision with Blood Time and didn't look good doing it. Gross fight. Okay. Anyway, Elijah Zaleski dos Capoeiro dos Santos taking on Zach Scroggins. So Zaleski is 37 years old, 5'11", 73-inch reach, while Zach Scroggins, UFC newcomer, 7-0, 28 years old. Or I'm sorry, I didn't tell you the guys the odds on Semi the Jedi versus Charles Radke. Plus 130 Semi the Jedi, minus 155 Charles Radke. So I'm on the dog there. D-Rose on the favorite. Anyway, back to this one. Currently, odds for this fight is... Where is it at? Did they move it?
Maybe. I mean, Bet ESPN has minus 550 for Zaleski dos Santos, and that's Zach Scroggins at plus 375.
Oh,
that's ESPN.
It's probably not on there yet because it just now got added. Yeah. So whatever D-Rose said. Yeah, I haven't looked into this fight at all, but I'm going with a UFC vet that I know is a good fighter. But Zach Scroggins 7-0 could be good, but I've just seen Zaleski do bad things to UFC level competition. So give me Zaleski to win this fight. I don't know how, but he's going to win it. Which way going here, dearest?
Yeah, I can see Zaleski dos Santos. Honestly, I think he ends up getting a knockout. Zach Scroggins, obviously we don't know too much about him, but just in terms of it seems like a huge dude. Dude's what, 6'3"? So yeah, he's absolutely massive. But I think Zaleski dos Santos, as you said, the more veteran, savvy type of guy. I think he's got multiple finishing ways. I think you can maybe even see like some body shots or something like that. But yeah, I think Zaleski dos Santos gets let's say a knockout.
All right. Crack the rankings. He's kill or be kill. What do you think, D-Rose? Chuck Buffalo making the rankings or no?
No. I'm not picking him to make no rankings. I'm just saying that he can win. He can win against lower level guys. Let's say that.
All right, moving on. We've got Cortavius. Are you not entertained? Ramius taking on Gaston, the Dream Killer Bolaños. Are you not entertained? Cortavius Ramius is 9-2 overall, 30 years old, 5'4" and a 68-inch reach, while Gaston Bolaños, the Dream Killer, is 32 years old, 5'7" and a 69-inch reach. Currently, odds for this fight plus 180. The underdog, Gaston Bolaños, and Cortavius Ramius is minus 218. Your favorite over/under on this one is 1.5. Yeah, I like Cortavius Ramius here. I saw him on the Contender Series. Looked pretty good, dude. Very composed. Seems to have a lot of fight IQ for only having 11 fights at this point. Only 30, maybe right before his prime. As regards to Gaston Bolaños, we've seen him in the UFC a few times now, and we've seen his weaknesses. So I'm going Cortavius Ramius to win this fight via decision. I don't really understand the 1.5 here, but yeah, give me Cortavius Ramius to win via decision. D-Rose, how about you?
Yeah, I think I chose Gaston Bolaños in his last fight against Marcus McGee. How well did that go?
Not good,
It
dude.
didn't. It didn't at all. He got absolutely murdered in that fight. And Gaston Bolaños is
Also, I saw a fight announcement that we didn't talk about earlier that I want to talk about right now, because you now brought up fucking Marcus McGee. But I just earlier I saw him versus Jonathan Martinez, dude, and I'm like, damn, that's a good fight. So just want to throw that out there.
Did we talk about that?
I'm not sure. Maybe we did.
I thought that for some reason I thought we had announced it or we had talked about it on the podcast maybe like a week or two ago.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why. Maybe I forgot about it, and then I'm like, oh shit.
Or Marcus McGee was definitely announced to fight somebody, because I remember mentioning where he hasn't fought in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I chose Bolaños in the last fight against Marcus McGee. Not a good decision. Is he a good fighter? Yes, but I think he's just a little bit flat-footed, and I think he'll be there to be hit, and I think that's exactly what Ramius would do here. So let's go Cortavius Ramius by decision.
All right, me and D-Rose both on Cortavius Ramius by decision. Let's see if we got a split here, because this is D-Rose's girl. Karolina Kowalkiewicz, 16-8, taking on Denise D. Gomes. That's 9-3. So Karolina Kowalkiewicz, 39 years old, 5'3" and a 64-inch reach, while Denise D. Gomes is 24 years. Dude, there's a 15-year difference. That's the age, dude. This, in theory, could be like me fighting someone that's the age of my mother. Like, my mom had me when she was 15 years old, dude. That's wild. And to think that there's that big of a difference here, dude. Anyway, Denise Gomes, 5'2" and a 63-inch reach, dude. I'm not going to pretend like I'm the biggest Karolina fan, dude. I'm pretty sure I pick against her every time she fights just because she's so old. I always probably pick whoever she's fighting to finish her, because I don't know if dude, maybe I'm just wrong, but I've seen her so many times when she gets hit hard, dude, she kind of like closes her eyes and like backs up like, that didn't feel good. Please don't do that again. And if she does that here, dude, I think D. Gomes is going to finish her. I don't know how many times Carolina's been knocked out, and it for sure hasn't been any recently, dude. She's been on a roll recently. But I don't know. I think it's time for Carolina, even though she's tan, to retire. Denise Gomes about to knock her block off this weekend. Give me Denise Gomes to win this fight. Let's go via first round knockout, D-Rose. Which way are you going here?
Yeah, this one's a good fight. I think a good matchup here. I think someone who can provide a very tough test for Denise Gomes. Denise Gomes is trying to work her way back up. And she had that loss to Angela Hill where Angela Hill was really just able to outdog her for the most part in that fight, and was able to get the decision. And Denise Gomes had a good bounce back win in her last fight as well. But man, I think I love me some Carolina. She's one of the old guards that I'm at that point in my UFC fandom where I'm starting to watch, fighters that I've watched for a long time kind of age out, and it's hard to let some of those fighters go. And Carolina has been one of those chicks who, she's always been gritty and tough, but yeah, I do think Denise Gomes is going to be better in this matchup overall. Carolina can get taken down as well, so I could see Denise Gomes going in there and getting a couple takedowns. I don't think she's going to knock out Carolina. I do think Carolina is way too tough for that. But yeah, I think Denise Gomes can definitely dominate the fight with her wrestling. Might not be the best matchup, but I think Denise Gomes gets the decision.
Yeah, currently odds for this plus 410 Carolina Kovacevic, minus 550 Denise Gomes. It's no secret who's winning that fight. We've got Mansour Abdul Malik taking on Dusko Thunder Todorovic. So Mansour Abdul Malik is 6-0, 27 years old, 6'2", and an 80-inch reach, while Dusko Todorovic Thunder is 30 years old, 6'1", and a 74-inch reach. Currently odds for this fight, minus 380 for Mansour Abdul Malik and Dusko Todorovic plus 300. And one single reason why, dude, is not because Mansour's good. It's not because he's experienced. It's because he has knockout power. And Dusko Todorovic is probably the second most laughable person to watch get knocked out in the UFC, right behind Johnny Walker. His neck is so long, and he just gets knocked out so cartoonish. So give me Mansour Abdul Malik to knock out Dusko Todorovic in a very thunderous way on Saturday. Which way are you going here, D-Rose?
Yeah, no secret here, and I'm not even going to drag it out here. Let's take Abdul Malik. Dusko Todorovic just gets hit too much in this fight, and this is definitely started up as a squash match. So let's go Abdul Malik. Let's go second round knockout.
All right. We got Austin saying, yep, Nunes is gone. They need a new star with knockout power to fill that void. I really could hope Nunes comes back. I could see if Kayla Harrison wins, I could see her coming back. Or I can even, if Pena beats Harrison, dude, I could see her coming back for another Pena fight. But that's just me. How about you, D-Rose?
Yeah, I've always liked Amanda Nunes, but nah, we don't need to see her back at this point. She's already been gone for too long at this point. I think the division moved on, and truthfully, in order for that division to breathe new life, it needs to move on from her. So, I mean, I know it hasn't produced a star just yet, but give it time, and I think it most certainly will.
I agree. Moving on, we've got Luana Pinheiro taking on Jillian the Savage Robertson. Luana Pinheiro, 30 years old, 5'4", and a 62-inch reach, while Jillian the Savage Robertson is 29 years old, 5'5", and a 63-inch reach. Currently odds for this fight, plus 310 for Luana Pinheiro, minus 395 for Jillian Robertson. Over-under on this one's 2.5, plus 124 for the over. Under is minus 160. So people thinking Jillian Robertson's going to finish Luana Pinheiro, and I have to say I do agree, because Luana Pinheiro gasses, dude, and she's fighting someone that has her weakness, dude. I'd say this every time she fights that that Randa Marcos fight, dude. Randa Marcos has no knockouts ever, dude, and apparently she hit Luana Pinheiro so hard that she knocked her out and had to be carried out of the cage. in reality, she gassed and just wanted to quit. She wanted out of the fight and got a DQ win over Randa Marcos in that fight. But that being said, she does gas. And if you gas against Jillian the Savage Robertson, she's going to finish you, dude. So give me Jillian Robertson. Dude, it wouldn't surprise me if she ground and pound Luana Pinheiro, just because I could see Luana just laying there and just getting hit because she's gassed. So give me Jillian Robertson, 2-3, but she goes for the subs a lot. So could be ground and pound, could be sub. But give me Jillian Robertson to for sure finish Luana Pinheiro on Saturday. Which way are you going here, D-Rose?
Yeah, I think the same exact thing. Luana Pinheiro, as you said, she has a terrible gas tank, and she gave Angela Hill her first submission victory in her career. So you think if Angela Hill could get her very first submission against Luana Pinheiro, you're going to tell me Jillian Robertson can't? Yeah, I'm definitely going Jillian Robertson here. Armbar, triangle, something to that extent. It's definitely going to be something like that. She's going to have her mounted, and she's going to roll into the armbar or the triangle, and she'll get the sub there. So give me Jillian Robertson by submission.
D-Rose, can I interest you in a Denise Gomes Jillian Robertson parlay 2-legger at -208?
God, not a chance, brother.
All right, we'll see if we can.
Let me get at least, if it's -150, I'll do it. But damn, -209, yikes!
Maybe we can add a third leg to it. Get to some plus money.
And that's where they get you. That's where they get you, boys.
Moving on, we've got Gerald GM3 Meerschaert taking on the Dutch Knight. Should be the Reindeer Renier de Ridder, dude. That would be a much sicker fight name. Anyway, GM3, 36 years old, 6'1", 77.5-inch reach, while Rene de Ridder, the Dutch Knight, is 34 years old, 6'4", and a 79-inch reach. Currently, odds for this fight are plus 235 for GM3, and Renier de Ridder is -290. Over under on this one is 2.5. Over 2.5 plus 105. Under 2.5 -135. D-Rose, have you done any research on Renier de Ridder yet?
A little bit. No, I'm not going to act like I've done a whole bunch, but
so this fight is going to be a grappling match, dude. He takes all of his fights down and wins by sub. But if you're going to play that game with GM3, I'm not sure that that's the smartest thing to do. His striking's not good. I guess it's all right, but one championship. Let's not pretend like it's the highest level fighters there. So if he's playing on the ground with GM3, what if he gasses, dude? I mean, now could he, land a big shot just like Hamzat did? Of course. Could he take him down and, land some ground to pound elbows? Of course. This one just has me really hesitant. I'm going to pick Renier de Ridder to win, but me, dude. Every single GM3 fight week, I'm going to have a GM3 round 2, round 3 sub prop loaded up, ready to go just in case. So, yeah, give me Renier de Ridder to win this fight. Let's go via decision, dude. Which way are you going here?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, because from everything that all the highlights that I've always seen from de Ridder is just submissions for the most part. So I do know that he has a little bit of a jiu-jitsu background. But as you said, GM3, playing that game with him, man, that's going to be absolutely tough. But I also think, man, GM3 can, he not going to say he produces every banger of a fight, but he can tend to produce some pretty good fights. I think this one, if it goes the way that RDR wants it to, is it could be a boring fight. I think GM3, he's going to provide some scrambles here, but I think it's just going to be more of a wrestling thing. And I think Gerald Meerschaert is just so comfortable on his back. He's going to try to go for different submissions. Where I think Renier de Ridder, I think he's going to kind of know his way around to not get submitted, keep it safe, and get a decision.
Yeah. Did you know that GM3 lost to Jay Ellis, dude? Way back in the day?
Yeah. It was way back in the day.
Oh,
I think Jay Ellis is still fighting.
Yes, dude. He just now fought not too long ago. At the time, he was 13-53 when he beat GM3. Oddly enough, let's check on old Jay Ellis. Currently 16-110. The Hurricane Jay Ellis. Last fall, fuck, dude, back in June,
Dude.
To some chick named Leslie.
Dude, I mean, I would not be surprised at this point. He is losing chicks, like absolutely nuts, man.
Shout out Jay Ellis. Still doing the damn thing. If you got a dream, chase it, brother. Me and D-Rose,
dude, that looks like that looks almost as bad as mine and your record is in UFC.
Oh my goodness. That dude's gotta have crazy seat, dude. It's you can go find his fights. I'll just if I'm ever not having a good day, I'll just go watch some Jay Ellis fights, and I'll just realize my life is better than a lot of people's, dude. There's a few fights, dude, where I don't even think he got hit. The fight started, dude. They touch gloves. I swear the dude missed a punch, and then Jay Ellis just fell over. I don't want to get hit by that, and just fell over. I was like, I'm done. He's throwing fights at this point. He just needs some money. That's his source of income. All right. Me and D-Rose both on Rainier to Ritter in that last one. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Ricky Tercios taking on Bernardo Sopai, the Lion King. Fun fighter as well. Ricky Tercios, 12-4 overall, 31 years old, 5'9", and a 71-inch reach, while Bernardo Sopai, the Lion King, 24 years old, 5'6", and a 66-inch reach. Yeah, Ricky Tercios didn't look fantastic against Raul Rosas at all, to be honest. The Rose got finished by him, and I know a lot of people didn't expect him to get finished by him. Bernardo Sopai, we know he's got some hands, and we know Ricky Tercios is tough, dude, but he starts putting them on him enough. Ref's going to start telling him, hey, Ricky, you got to fight back. Going to try those toe stomps, but I don't know if they're going to work. Yeah, give me Bernardo Sopai 3 or decision here. But, man, if he knocked him out, it wouldn't surprise me too much, D-Rose. So, Bernardo Sopai, 3 or decision for me. Which way are you going here?
Gosh, I would say you just look down this card, and I cannot believe this is the co-main event.
Dude, hold on. Odds for this fight, plus 280, Ricky Tercios. Minus 355, Bernardo Sopai. If we throw that 355 in our parlay, D-Rose. So Denise Gomes, Julian Robertson, Bernardo Sopai. It is now minus 112.
150. Oh, I was close. Man, I would be tempted at that.
What if we throw Carlos Prates minus 800 in there? Can we get the plus money? There we go. The 4 leg is plus 113.
Let's go.
Oh my god, dude.
We could do it. No, I'm kidding. I just need to see a win at this point. So just give me a win. But yeah, I think Ricky Tercios, he takes after the Gracie family for the Gracie foot stomps, in the middle of the octagon. He's literally just like ooga booga. I can't tell if he's trying to dance when he's trying to step on him or what. The old school crip walk.
And he screams. He's like, ah.
Yeah. He honestly, and I think after that freaking when he did that to Raul Rosas, everybody was like, "What is this dork doing?" Raul Rosas with the touch gloves, and he's like, "No," and then tried to punch him and stuff. That's what you get. You deserve to get smoked by Raul Rosas. And honestly, I hope Bernardo Sopai. I hope he does the same thing. Dude, and that last fight, Sopai, against Vinicius Oliveira, dude, he had moments where he was looking really good,
right? And we know how good Loke Dog is. We know how good Loke Dog is.
Yeah. Do we have?
I said, do we have a pellet? Huh?
Mr. Loke Dog?
That's me.
Oh, you're next. Mr. Lock Dog?
Hey, what's up, baby?
Yeah, right.
You all right?
Yeah, no.
All right, girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sex? Hell yeah. Dude, that's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Dude, it's so stupid. Oh man. But yeah, we know how good Luck Dog is. And
Give me
and
that
yeah,
sex with the body slip.
100%.
I'm trying.
That's
Oh,
hilarious. That's
goodness.
hilarious. I love Marlon Wayans so much, man. I really do. But yeah, give me Sopai here, and I say round 3 or decision. But yeah, I'm with you. I think he just stuffs the takedowns and Tercios and pretty much boxes them up. But do not be surprised if Tercios does go in there and get some takedowns, because he was able to actually get a few against Raul Rosas as well. So, but yeah.
All right,
Give
me
me
and
a
D-Rose both on Bernardo Sopai there. Maybe a knockout, but 3 or decisions probably the safest play for us. Main event time. If y'all haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. If y'all don't mind, like Carlos Prates is probably gonna hit Neil Magny this weekend. Let's get into it. Neil Magny, 29-12 overall. The Haitian Sensation is his fight name. Taking on Carlos the Nightmare Prates, 20-6 overall. So Neil Magny, as I said, 29-12, 37 years old, 6'3" and an 80-inch reach, while Carlos the Nightmare Prates, 20-6 overall, 31 years old, 6'1" and a 78-inch reach. Currently, odds for this fight, plus 550 for Neil Magny, minus 800 for Carlos Prates. Over under on this one is 2.5. Over 2.5 plus 160. Under 2.5 is minus 210. Yeah, D Rose. We know, I guess let's kind of start like this. We know how the Trevin Giles fight looked. Trevin Giles was looking good against Carlos Prates until, he got clipped. And I know MMA math doesn't work, but if you just compare fight styles, Neil Magny doesn't even have close to the same footwork or striking ability that Trevin Giles does have. Neil Magny is going to try to get you in close, hold on to you, hit you with some elbows, try to get you down to the ground, where he's honestly showed that he's got some solid submission skills there. But I think Carlos Prates is just too good right now. I mean, he's a professional athlete and a cigarette smoker. You can't go against the guy at this point. Looks like he has the power of God in all 8 of his limbs: fists, elbows, knees, feet. Yeah, Carlos Prates is an animal and has Muay Thai tattooed across his chest. So, you don't go against that. Give me Carlos Prates to knock out Neil Magny. Let's go second round, D-Rose. Which way are you going here?
Yeah, I think I'm done picking against Carlos Prates, because I picked Trevin Giles and I picked Trevin Giles, Charles Radke, and the Leech. I picked all 3 of those dudes, and every single one of them have been fallen to the wayside at the power and destruction of Carlos Prates. The dudes in I mean, the dude is absolute just power in his hands, man. And dude, he uses his range so well, because I went back and I watched that Trevin Giles knockout, and dude, it looks like he wasn't even Trevin Giles looked like he was well out of range of that punch, and somehow he had the Mr. Incredible arm, Carlos Prates did, and just stretched his punch across the octagon to make sure that he still landed that knockout blow. So he uses his range and distance well. I love the way he set up that Leech knockout, how he hit him with the 1-2, and then he kind of slapped the hand down and came through. Yeah, well, when he hit him with the 1-2, and then he came through with the right and just pulled Leech's hand down and just had left hook. It was just nasty and just absolutely folded him. Magny's going to put the pressure on Prates. He's going to put that pace on him. That's how he wins a lot of his fights: is pressure, pace, like you said, dirty boxing in the clinch, and that's in them takedowns, man. And that is the way that he can win Charles Radtke was able to take down Carlos Prates, so if you say Charles Radtke could, you could say Neil Magny could, but I think Carlos Prates is going to be a little bit more prepared for that at this point. I think he's just going to end up finding that blow eventually over 5 rounds. So give me Carlos Prates by knockout.
All right, that's it. Prelims all the way up to the main event. Me and D-Rose gave you our picks for every single one of them on the fight. Magny is that gatekeeper indeed, Dave. So with that being said, our 3 different picks for this fight. We only got 3, D-Rose. Can you believe it?
Damn.
We only got
That's
3.
sad.
But you got 2 of the favorites though. So, the only one I'm confident on is the one where I was like, that's for sure going in the pick champion. And now I'm like, damn. It's going to be a sketchy one. Our 3 different fights this week are Antonio Tricoli versus Tresean Gore, where I am on Antonio Tricoli and D-Rose on Tresean Gore. I was going to say something, but I decided not to. Our second different fight is Damon, the Monster Blackshear versus Cody Stamen, where I'm on Damon, the Monster Blackshear, and D-Rose on Cody, the Spartan Stamen. And our final fight for the pick champ over D-Rose's shoulder this week is Matthew, the Jedi, Simmelsberger, taking on Chuck Buffalo, Charles Radtke. That's our 3 different fights. So, D-Rose, maybe it'll be like last week because me and you were basically on the same fights last week. And I had the whole card parlayed up for the most part. And right before the Air Jourdain fight, I cashed out that parlay for like $300. And I was like, you know what? Charles Jourdain, 3 decisions, and most of my other shit. Let me cash out of this one. Like, am I going to be sad if it gets all the way there and cashes it all? Because would I rather have $179,000 or $300? That's not even a question. But I cashed it out, and damn, if Charles Air Jourdain didn't get the second round sub, I'm like, thank God I cashed that shit out, dude. That's the second time that I've just had a feeling. I'm like, well, let me just cash this out, and literally. That as soon as the next fight happens, that shit would have fucking lost. So, I'm probably going to do the same thing this week. Maybe take out those 3 fights and see how it goes from there. Going to be a non-legger because we got 12 fights. So, with that being said, D-Rose, anything before we get out of here, man?
No, man. I think good podcast today. And, man, hopefully we can clean the books this weekend. But, again, it's been a rough last few weeks for me, man. So, I don't know how it's going to go, but we still in this bitch.
Nah, Antoine, me and D-Rose will be here next Wednesday. Give you the breakdowns for 309. I hope Cody poops himself the octagon so I call him Stain, man. Oh, Dave, what's wrong with you, man? So, with that being said, we appreciate you guys for stopping by here, hanging out with us here tonight. Catch us back here live next Wednesday. We'll give you all the recaps from this past weekend, go over news and fight announcements, and give you our picks for UFC 309 in New York. Going to be the return of John Jones versus Stipe Miocic. Going to be, probably the last time we see either one of them fighting, and will be the last time that me and D-Rose use StreamYard here next week because, after that, after November 18th, they're going to try to charge me again. And StreamYard, fuck you, StreamYard. I'm not paying $50 a month for this shit. So me and D-Rose going to have to find something else to use. May not be live, but we'll figure it out. With that being said, we appreciate you guys for stopping by, hanging out with us here tonight. Once again, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new here, and D-Rose, anything, man?
No, man. I think we're good, bro.
All right. With that being said, we'll catch you guys right back here live next Wednesday. With that being said, y'all be safe. You're betting on fights this weekend. Don't be betting more than you can afford to lose because at the end of the day, it's a fist fight. Anything can happen. So, me and D-Rose will catch you guys next week. Y'all be safe. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.